is Tuesday, March 12th, and I thought I would do something different than I normally do. I'm going to make a little video in the motorhome, and it's going to be about cats. We get a lot of questions, mainly from people walking by that see our cats sitting on the steps of the motorhome. We leave the, most of the time we have the door open with the screen door closed. The cats love sitting there watching the people walk by. It's funny because where we used to live, we had a big piece of property, and there was not a lot, there was almost nobody walking by because we were in the middle of several acres, but they are really fascinated by watching all the people walking by and riding their bikes. But anyway, and we've had a few questions. People always seem surprised that you travel with cats, and yet they travel with dogs. And I'm thinking, okay, well, you have cats and dogs in houses all over America, all over the world. What's the difference? So, and I tell them, it's not a big deal. And they like, where do they, where's their litter box? And I tell them, well, we keep the litter box in the shower, which is a perfect, it's a contained area. It's designed for water. We do have a big litter box that we bought. Actually, it's just a storage container we got at Walmart. It's about, I don't know, 2.5 feet wide by 18 inches deep. And it's just a big litter box. And I cut a nice oval out so they can go in. One of the hacks we do, which my wife found online, just coincidentally, we used to have a wood stove in our house, and we went through, a ton of wood pellets every year. Well, this hack online talked about people using wood stove pellets, the heating fuel type, not the ones you cook with, because those are kind of expensive. These are just regular wood stove pellets, and they're about $7-8 a bag at Home Depot, Walmart, Tractor Supply, wherever. 40-pound bag. Well, those wood stove pellets work great for cat litter. It takes a few days for the cats to get used to it. At first, they'll kind of step around in there. Maybe they don't like the way it feels. But the upside is they're cheap. They mask the odor of the urine. They last for, with 3 cats in a big box, one load of maybe 10 or 15 pounds of pellets out of the bag, maybe 15 because we have 3 cats. I've never weighed it out. One bag lasts me about three filling and refilling cycles. And they work, and there's no tracking or very little. There's no dust because the pellets are, pressed under high pressure because they're wood pellets. And when the cat pees on them, they slowly just kind of break down, and the sawdust trickles down to the bottom of the box. And of course, we clean the number 2 every day, or actually we clean it if we're here. We clean it the minute they do it. In that bathroom and in our half bath, we have max fans. So we pretty much leave the one in the master bath where the litter box is. We leave that max fan on low. You can't even hear it. It just kind of takes the what little odor there is out. It works great. If it's, we were really concerned, and I was especially, as I've mentioned, I'm the one that worries about a lot of this stuff. I was freaking out about spending a bunch of money on a motorhome and then putting cats in there that were going to, even though they never tore up our house, they do run around. Cats get wound up and they can knock things over and run across furniture with their claws and stuff. This motorhome has beautiful furniture. It's not leather, but it's a leather-like material. Some people call it leather, but it's not. Anyway, you can see it behind me here. Not a scratch on it. We've been full-timing now for close to, it's going to be 6 months here in another week or so. They have not made one mark in this furniture. We keep a cat scratch post in here just like you would in your house. We have a few beds spread around. One of them sits kind of on the master bed. We keep a bed on the, 1 or 2 beds in the slide out area, one near the fireplace. The 3 cats are all older. The video, I'll introduce you to the cats in the video because they're kind of part of our traveling adventure. They're with us. We've had them for 10 years. One of them's 12. My wife's cat, he's a British Shorthair. It's a little pain in the ass, but he's a neat cat. I like him. And, well, actually, I love all of our cats. But they each have unique personalities. One's kind of mine, Mickey, the black and white one. The British Shorthair is kind of my wife's, and then Merlin, the gray and white kitty, he's kind of both of ours. My wife found him in a rainstorm in the middle of the town we lived in San Diego, and he actually, she was coming home from work one night. He was a kitten, and he jumped in her car, and she brought him home, and we've had him ever since. So 2 of them are 10, and Milo is 12. We're going to be 12, and so when we started this idea of full timing, that we knew the cats were going with us, and then I had to figure out how I was going to do that and make it work. So maybe it would be easier in a 5th wheel. I don't know, everybody's different. For us, we thought about that, but the idea of moving the cats from the truck into the 5th wheel every time we stopped, what do you do about them going to the bathroom? And so that kind of is really what all kind of came together to help us arrive at the decision that the motorhome was the best. They are a little scared when we're traveling. Milo is he's oblivious to everything. He doesn't care. He walks up and down the aisle. He'll come and lay on the floor while we're driving. My wife will set up one of his beds on this little box, and he'll sit right on the bed sometimes and look out the front window as we're driving, which is hilarious. I'd love to get a video of that. One of them hides in the bathroom, and then Mickey, my cat, for whatever reason, he likes just to go up on the bed, and he tries to hide in between some of the pillows. But the minute we stop, they all come out. Merlin's a little slower at it, but they all come out, and they just, they realize we've stopped. I'm sure they feel the rumbling and the noise of the slides going in and out. They're not dumb. Pretty much the minute we get ready the morning that we leave, somehow they always know that morning we get up and they start looking at us, and I can tell by the way they're looking at us that they know we're leaving. And they start, getting ready, hunkering down, thinking, okay, what am I going to do? But for the most part, it has been a nothing burger. If you have cats and you're worried about traveling, give it a try. It's not a big deal. They will get used to it. It's taken Merlin the longest. He's still kind of struggling a little bit with anxiety when we travel. My wife did give him some little product that she got, some homeopathic thing that did kind of work. But he's getting used to it. We're getting ready to take off here in about a week to New Mexico. That's going to be about a 270-mile drive, which will be a longer one. We don't do a lot of those. We normally travel only about 150 miles at a time. We're retired. We're not in a hurry. We like to stop somewhere, look around, see what's going on. We've been in this current spot now for, 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks. And we ended up staying here for a month. Now, we're not staying that long in New Mexico. I've been to New Mexico. There's a few things I want to do there. My wife wants to go to Carlsbad Caverns and some other stuff, White Sands Desert. But as far as the cats go, it has been easy. We see people, in fact, where we're at currently, we're right across from the dog park at this campground. And we see the people out there in the middle of the night, in the early morning hours when it's raining. They have to take their dog out and go to the bathroom, take it out to pee, whatever. And I started realizing, because we've owned dogs, my wife and I have had dogs all of our life, and personally, the traveling with cats is got to be way easier. I don't have to get out in the rain. I don't have to do anything. The cats, this is where they live. They have their litter box. It's very easy. We have a nice little Catmate water fountain. The minute we stop, we plug it back in, fill it with clean, fresh water. We feed them in the kitchen just like we do in our regular house, or did. It's been really easy. It's the only thing I had to do is I bought a little plastic runner for the carpet on one of our slides. One of the slides, these Integras, the slides in 2015, because of how they work and they go down and they're level with the floor, they carpeted those, and it's only about 2 feet of carpet. And I got a runner for that because on the rare occasion, if you own cats, sometimes they throw up a hairball. It's kind of gross, but I don't want them doing that on the carpet because I want this motorhome to stay pretty much the way it was when I bought it. We're not going to keep this thing forever, and when I sell it, I'll be honest with whoever buys it. We own some cats, but I defy them to know that we ever really had cats in here. It'll be, I intend for it to be spotless when we get rid of it. And we've been doing this now for 6 months. They haven't done a thing to the motorhome. The only thing they do that does kind of irritate me, in the morning, two of our cats, they like to get up on the dash. This motorhome, as I've mentioned, has a huge window. They love to get up on the dash and watch all the people and the dogs going by and the bicycles. And the only thing about that that I don't like is sometimes they, cats drop a little hair. I have to get up there with the vacuum and vacuum up any little bit of hair that gets up there. There's no real vents or anything up there, so there's nothing for it to get into, but I just have to keep that clean. And of course, there's a little more vacuuming. This motorhome has all, almost like marble floors. And so it's real easy to clean. It has a whole house vacuum. We just sweep it into a thing and put it into the vacuum, and we do that every day basically, or at least I do. So just to alleviate any concerns somebody might have, like I said, the litter box issue, if you have a shower, you can put it in there. It's real simple. When you want to shower, you just lift the litter box out and set it, we just set it in the bathroom for the time we're in the shower, and then when we're done, we wipe the floor of the shower out and put the litter box back, and it's a no-brainer. Anyway, and so in this video, I don't know how I'm going to integrate this with some of the pictures. I'm going to introduce my, the new subscribers I have, because they're probably kind of curious about how we travel. We do have cats. It's just my wife and I and the 3 cats, and they're on this trip with us. And they may be in this motorhome with us for a year or two. We do not know how long we're going to travel. My personal goal is to keep doing this until we find a piece of property that I want to buy, or we want to buy, and we can build a house. And I haven't got a clue at this point where that's going to be. So until then, we're going to keep traveling. If you have any questions about issues with cats or traveling with cats, you can feel free to put a little comment in the, on the video. I've kind of getting used to learning how to respond to those. I do get some comments. Some people send me, like email that I don't think show up on the channel, and I try to respond them. But like I was saying at the beginning, most of these questions come from people walking by that see our cats sitting. In fact, they're sitting in the doorway right now, or one of them is, and people are really curious, especially with Milo. He's a really big, he's like a Cheshire cat. He's got a big round face. He's a beautiful cat, but he's kind of mean. He looks really nice, but he's kind of a mean cat, and we have to be real careful with him. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. So like I said, if you have any questions about traveling with cats in a motorhome, I'll be glad to help you out. We've got 6 months of experience with it now, and I was thinking, there's a lot of people that are curious, and when we were looking into this, there's very little information on there. There's a few little things people talked about, cutting holes in their cabinets and having their cats go down in the basement, in the storage area to use a litter box, or in the fifth wheel. We met a lady last night who we were shocked. We saw her coming out of her fifth wheel, and then a couple seconds later, we heard this flapper thing move, and this black cat comes out this little flapper on the side of the fifth wheel and down this ramp, and was running alongside her when we started talking to her. Well, she's been traveling for years. Her cat's 13 years old. That cat has free roam wherever she goes. That cat, she opens the flapper after 2 days, and she said that the cat always comes back. They have a GPS collar on it, and this park is massive where we're at. There's over 1,000 spaces. She said a couple nights ago on her tracker that she has on her phone, her cat was all the way at the front of the park, which is half a mile from here almost. It's a huge park, or probably about 2,000 feet from here. Somehow the cat finds its way back. We're not letting our cats out of the motorhome. Maybe at some point we'll try a leash with one of them. But it's not my preference. I don't want them, they've never really been outside. I don't want them getting fleas or anything. But anyhow, I just wanted to make this quick video. There'll be a little bit either before or after integrated with some pictures and a little information about each cat. I am kind of surprised. It's funny, I was looking this morning, for some reason my little channel's growing. I've got like over 500 subscribers now, which just absolutely I'm flabbergasted by that. I knew I wanted to have a little YouTube channel, but I never knew that it would start to take off. But like everybody else, people are curious about other people. We watch a lot of YouTube, or at least I do. My wife watches some, but she'll sit down and watch some of the YouTubers with me that I like, that I follow. I follow most of the full-time RVers. our journey in miles, changing lanes, happily ever Hanks, endless RVing. I've reached out to a few of them, make comments on some of their stuff. I've asked them a couple questions. Our journey in miles has answered a few questions for me, which I greatly appreciate. They're really nice people. And we are finding that the people in this community, in the RV community, are really good people. We have not run into anybody yet that, they're just all nice people. They're always happy to talk, answer any questions. I like talking. I like talking about people, the different kinds of vehicles they tow and whatnot. But anyway, I don't want to make this video longer than I need to, but I just thought I would do a little video about traveling with cats. It's not that difficult. They will get used to it. Obviously, the bigger the rig, the better. If you're in a real small rig, probably one cat. We do have 3 cats, but this motorhome's almost 45 feet long. And with all the slides out, it's probably about 450 square feet, maybe, something like that. And it's really never been an issue. If you own cats, most of the time, and they're 10 or 12 years old, they sleep. When we come home from being out all day, we'll still, they'll meet us on the steps. But for the most part, typical cat, they just need their basic needs met: eat, sleep, and a place to go to the bathroom. And that's about it, really. I just wanted to thank any of the new subscribers. My wife probably won't be involved in this much. She doesn't have any interest in it. In fact, today, the reason I'm doing this, there's one little piece left of the Chuck Huckleberry bike trail that she wanted to do. Not real thrilled about her taking off on a bike ride for a long distance on her own. She's obviously very capable, taking care of herself. But the Huckleberry Trail is a beautiful trail, but like most cities, there's a lot of homeless people and a lot of riffraff on that trail that we see. There's homeless encampments all over in these washes in Tucson. There's a couple areas, and I'll just touch on this. There's a couple areas, like in the Oro Valley, that's a beautiful area, and for whatever reason, the people in that area do not allow that homelessness and the trash to build up, and they keep it really clean. But in the areas right kind of where this park is, you definitely don't want to be out there riding around at night. I don't want to say it's not safe, but anyway, so my wife took off on a ride, and I thought I would use this opportunity to sit in here and make a little video. Hopefully she'll be back soon. I'll tell her I made a video. She's gonna laugh. So anyway, you guys have a good day. I really appreciate you watching. I'll try to keep up the videos. I'm gonna make a couple videos in New Mexico. I'm probably gonna go into Carlsbad Caverns. I'm not a big caver. I don't have much interest in that. I got a lot of that kind of crazy stuff out of my system when I was in the military. I did rappelling. I crawled underground. If you've ever been in the Army or the Marine Corps, you know about some of the stuff you end up having to do. But I was a lot younger then, and like my wife, she wants to go zip lining. I'm not interested in that. I did zip lining in the Army at Fort Bragg. I went off of I don't remember, a 60-foot tower with a pair of handlebars and a steel wheel, and I went down about 300 feet and had to drop into the Cape Fear River and make my uniform into a flotation device. There was water moccasins and all kinds of stuff, but that was 40 years ago. I just, those kinds of things aren't really for me at this point. And my wife has that really adventuresome streak, which is good. You see her out in front of me all the time. You probably hear me in the videos telling her to wait up. She's always out ahead. She's, I knew when we got here she was determined to ride all 135 miles of that bike trail, and she basically has. I think I've done probably 85 or 90 miles of it, and she's now completing the rest of it. So anyway, it is what it is. Good for her. I'm happy that she enjoys doing that. So, and that's the other thing. If you guys travel, you got to give each other space. I have a little note. You're going to laugh, and if my brother watches this, he'll laugh. I have a little note on our microwave to remind me. It says space and grace. If you're going to be in a confined space with your spouse, you got to give them the room. I try to go outside, do things, give my wife free time. She has her own interests. She likes to read. She takes a couple classes here and there. She does her own thing. That's my one piece of advice I'll give anybody who's married or travels with a partner. You better be prepared to give your partner some space when they need it, because you are in a confined space. Like many people, we were used to living in a big house. I had a big yard. I was always busy. We both worked. We were, I was traveling one way in the morning and she was going the other way, and we came home and it was just a different environment. When you're traveling in an RV, you're together 24/7. You eat together. You pretty much do everything together. So it's really important. You'll hear this on a lot of YouTube channels, people that travel. You need to give, you got to give your partner some space and let them, have their own interests and do what they want to do. So with that being said, I'm going to cut this off now. I do appreciate the subscribers, as I mentioned, and we'll talk soon. Thank you.